So you're running out of closet space. The good news? You don't need to stop shopping. You just need to start selling with The RealReal. The RealReal is the world's largest and most trusted resource for authenticated luxury resale. Whether it's that mini bag that can't even fit your phone or those boots you never fully broke in, The RealReal handles everything from photography and copywriting to shipping and pricing. So you can just sit back, get paid, and make room for things that actually feel like you. And with 10,000 plus new arrivals every single day from top designers like Prada, Celine, Louis Vuitton, and Loewe, all for up to 90% off retail, you're bound to find something perfectly on brand to fill that extra closet space with. Plus, this May only, you can get an extra $200 to shop when you sell for the first time. Make room for what feels like you. Go to therealreal.com to start selling and get your extra $200 to keep shopping at therealreal.com. That's therealreal.com. Terms apply.
This podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of When Reality Hits. I'm so excited for this one. We've got the gorgeous, confident, and totally unforgettable Theresa DeMaria here with me today. You know her from the network show Age of Attraction, and trust me, we are getting into all of it. The love, the age gap, and everything that went down after the camera stopped rolling. Hello, yes. How are you?
Hi, I'm so good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming on the show.
Excited to be here with you.
Yay. Oh, this is going to be fun. Because this was a first season of a new show. So I'm sure that was very different and wild for you, not knowing exactly
how things were going to be. Yes, it was quite an experience. It was so much fun. I had actually been on I filmed for a reality TV show the summer before, but it's never aired. So I kind of had like a little bit of a heads up as to like what happens, but this was a completely, much more in-depth kind of, experience.
Wait, what was the other reality show supposed to be about?
So it was like the premise would be similar to like Below Deck. It was on a ranch in Montana called Ranches at Belt Creek. Netflix actually owns it, but for whatever reason, it switched. Something happened, like someone got fired or something like that, and then they ended up not airing it. So I'm just on one episode of it, but I don't know what happened.
But you had a little bit of experience with the cameras around, because that's a huge shock. Like your first time, I remember my first time all those years ago with the cameras. It's so intimidating. You're just kind of like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
I was
totally
in the beginning. So at least having that little bit under your belt could help some on a brand new experience.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I'm also like around cameras a lot just because of my regular job. So I'm always behind the camera, but I'm around them. So I understand production. So I think that also helps me. But honestly, like I was so wrapped up in the whole experience of Age of Attraction. So I kind of forgot the cameras were there very quickly. I would say like within a week, I was kind of just like, whatever, like I'm good.
You're like, I'm used to this. Okay, so you have this whole career in fashion. How did you go from styling and editing to reality TV? Like, what was that first casting or anything like that for you? Like, how did you actually get on the TV show?
Yeah, so I have an agency, and so everything that I get in terms of like any commercial work that I do or modeling work that I do, it all goes through my agency. And so several years ago, they actually cast me or tried to cast me for Vanderpump Villa. This was the very first season of it, the one that it was in the south of France. And I was like, oh my God, yes, I'll totally do that. They wanted me to be the event planner, which I obviously am not an event planner. So I ended up turning it down. And then they tried to get me to be like the lead guest with some of my friends, but it ended up like just falling through for a variety of reasons. I was super bummed out, but then like, it's like once you're kind of in the mix of things, they kind of just always have you at their fingertips. So they're like, oh, do you want to do this one? And so that's how it all happened.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So what made you say yes to doing a dating show in the first place?
So I've had some really rough relationships. My last relationship was super toxic. I had just kind of like, it had been about a year since I had broken up with that guy. We were together for about 4 years prior. And I was just ready to date. And I had gone on dating apps and had like no luck whatsoever. It was like one creep after the next, like liars and all the bad stuff. And so when they approached me with this, I was like, yeah, like if maybe this is like how the universe is going to have me meet my guy. Like, I don't know. So I was totally open to it. And I just kept staying open. I was like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And one thing led to the next. And before you know it, I'm in, Whistler, Canada with the 27-year-old.
We're going to get into all of that. But I love that you said, like, I've never, ever, ever been on a dating app my entire life. But you kind of make me realize, because all my friends are like, you should try it. You should do it. You should, But hearing what you said, which I hear so many other women say, is that people are creepy. They lie. They're only looking for one thing. So maybe I'll stay away from the dating apps.
Yeah, I don't think you need to worry about that, Brittany. I think you've got plenty of suitors out there.
I mean, we'll see. I'm still single, so who knows?
Yeah, you and me both, girl.
Yeah, I enjoy being single, though. It's not like I enjoy being single. I'm just taking my time and figuring it out as I go.
No, totally.
Did you go into the show looking for love, or more like, let's just kind of see what happens?
I mean, I really want to find like my partner. And so, I mean, I was hopeful. I really thought like this could be it. And, the stars just kept lining up for me. And I was like, okay, like this is happening. Like I was super excited. And when I met John, like, I was like, okay, this could be my guy. I really thought we had great chemistry, all of that. So I was excited.
No, I love that. I think like people should always try experiences that come their way because you never know what could happen,
Totally.
Like I'm a prime example of that. Like I never thought I'd be doing anything like what I do these days. And I just happened to meet somebody at a bar and, 10 years later, didn't work out in the end, but my whole life changed because of it. So you just never know what can happen through different experience. So I'm glad that you're brave enough just to try because I feel like a lot of women would be too scared. So you should be proud of that. And you have 3 kids, right? 3 kids?
Yes, I have 3 kids. They're all older. They're all out of college and off doing their own thing. So I have a lot of free time now.
Yeah, and that's awesome. What did your kids and family and like close friends think whenever you decided that you're going to do a dating show on Netflix?
I mean, honestly, everybody was super supportive. I don't think anyone really knew like what was going to come of it. So, I mean, we all kind of like have watched reality TV and we have our favorite shows and everything like that. But, this was going to be a little bit of a different type of a dating show. It wasn't like Love Island. Obviously, I'm not hanging out like in a bikini all day getting drunk. So I was like trying to explain, like, you guys, this is going to be like a little bit more above board. Like everything's going to be a little more sophisticated. So it won't be so bad. Yeah. And they were super supportive. Everybody was like, yeah, have fun. Go for it.
Did they watch it like with you or anything? Or did you like a little group watch party with them or did they watch it on their own?
So when the show came out, I was actually in LA, and my daughter lives there. So it was great because she got to come to like some of the parties with me and we got to watch some of the show together. So it was really perfect. And my other 2 kids are in Chicago and New York. So I wasn't with them, but they still watched it. And I don't know, they were a little shocked. I think my boys kind of were like, they didn't want to take it all in like my daughter was cool with, but it was all good.
I mean, when are sons ever going to want to watch their mom dating on it? You know, like I can imagine the difference between the sons and the daughters, how they would react to that.
Exactly.
So, like you said before, you've always been behind the cameras and stuff with the work that you do. How did you feel about having to be vulnerable on TV? Because whenever you sign up for reality TV, you really have to show a lot of your life and your story, and that can be very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I mean, I've always just been a very like open, honest person. And so it just came naturally to me. And what I wanted to do was be authentic and not try and pretend or, have any sort of agenda or anything like that. And I figured, in terms of editing, like it's the best thing to do because they can only edit, you in a certain way. If you show up as yourself, you can't blame yourself for, looking a certain way because that's who you are. So
yeah,
I was okay with it. I mean, I was obviously like, I have my own values and stuff. And so I was like, well, I'm not going to like make out with a bunch of guys. I'm not going to like, do a bunch of physical stuff on camera because that's just who I am. I'm private in that way. But like, in terms of letting people know my history, my past, like, listen, I'm open to that, to sharing my life because if some of the hurt that I've gone through can help other people, like I'm so down for that.
Yeah. No, I agree. And being authentic, if you sign up for reality TV, is the most important thing to me. I always get asked, what's my advice to this person? Or when the cast of Vanderpump Rules was redone and everything else, I was like, be real, be honest, be authentic. Don't try to make storylines that aren't there. Like, the audience can really tell and connect if you're authentic or not. So I think that is an awesome way to go into it, especially reality TV, because people see right through that shit.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, and I think that obviously was the reason why I've had so much positive reaction from people watching it, because they could see that I was authentic and relatable. And so at the end of the day, like, shit rises to the top and, people are going to see that. And I think good things give you good things and bad things give you bad things. So it's just like karma.
Exactly. Okay, let's get into the dating of it all a little bit more. Are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Take us back to the moment that you met John. What was your very first impression?
Honestly, I kind of felt like he was a little maybe dorky-ish. Like I wasn't like overwhelmed with like charisma from him. I just thought like this is a really sweet guy. Mm. And so I didn't think I wasn't intimidated by him. I just thought he was like a sweet, honest guy.
Yeah. Okay, so a little dorky in the beginning, but sweet and honest. I like it. Did you feel the spark immediately or did it build over time?
It definitely built over time.
I figured that's what you were going to say after the dorky.
Yeah. I mean, I thought there were a few guys, from that first round of speed dating that I was interested in. And then, the production actually was the one who kind of like put us back together for like that second conversation. And then things just kind of grew from there. So.
Okay, so kind of a slow burn. When did you find out he was 27 and what was your first thought whenever that went through your head?
Oh my gosh. So I had gone on 4 dates with him. It was about 2.5 weeks into the filming. And that was when we went to the promise room, which was when we were supposed to make that second commitment, or that first commitment rather, and find out each other's ages after we said, yes, we're going to continue in this relationship. And so that was when I found out. So it was about 2.5 weeks in. And oh my God, yeah, when I found out, I was horrified. I was like, what am I going to do? Like, this is totally against anything that I wanted or had hoped for. And I was bummed out. I was really kind of like, shit, well, this is going to cause a problem for me because he's younger than my oldest son. Yeah. And I'm not really comfortable with that. But I was like, I do really like him and I want to see this through because we had chemistry and I don't know. It was just, you're in this momentum of the show and everything. And so I was like almost robotic, like, yeah, I'm going to just continue. And I had committed. I had said, like, yeah, I want to go forward.
So you definitely had that like thought in your head, like I'm either going to stick with this and keep going just to see where it goes, or I'm going to run the opposite direction. It had to be like what's going to happen next.
Yeah, exactly. And, the way that they have it set up is that you make that commitment to go to the next stage of the show before you find out, the age, whether they have kids, whether they've been married before, like all the details of their, the things that we've been holding back. And you've already made that commitment before you know all of that. So for me to then be like, okay, no, I'm not going to do it. I mean, obviously that would be really terrible. So, and I did start to develop feelings for him when we moved to Vancouver. So,
okay. So you said that he was younger than your oldest son. Have you ever dated anyone younger than you before him?
Yes, actually, I dated a guy who was about 18 years younger than me, and we had actually a really good relationship for a couple years. So I totally have experienced dating younger guys.
And it doesn't seem different, because sometimes people will either say that men have to be older because they don't mature as fast as women, but I feel like that's not for every guy. I've never dated somebody younger than me, but now that I'm in my dating single life, there are younger guys and they seem more mature than my ex or other people, that are older than me.
Totally.
What's the one small shift I've actually maintained this year? Reclaiming my mornings. I realize a night of fun shouldn't cost me an entire day of productivity. So my shift is planning a balanced night out to ensure a high quality morning after. I rely on Z-Biotics pre-alcohol to support that goal and keep my social life and my wellness goals aligned. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Love that. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's a buildup of this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for the rough days after drinking. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Every time I have pre-alcohol before drinks, I notice a difference the next day. Even after a night out, I can confidently plan on making it to my Pilates class or getting that good workout in the next day without any worry. From the first outdoor brunch of the year to the start of wedding season and Memorial Day plans, May's social calendar is officially nonstop. Don't let one long night keep you from the rest of your weekend. Drink pre-alcohol to stay on your game and make the most of every sunny Saturday. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/reality and use code reality at checkout for 15%. That's ZBIOTICS.com/reality and use code reality at checkout for 15% off. You will feel so much better. Finding the one can feel impossible. And in today's world, it's even harder. False profiles, inaccurate pictures, ghosting on dates. Is this sounding familiar? But if you're ready to make your move to a new place, it doesn't have to feel like dating. All it takes is a simple search on apartments.com to find your perfect match. Whether you're looking for a 3-bedroom condo downtown, a 2-bedroom duplex in a quiet neighborhood, a cozy studio in a walkable city, or even a single-family home in a cul-de-sac, you can find the place that checks all the right boxes. So whichever stage of life you're in, settle down in your perfect home by using apartments.com. No more swiping or awkward first dates. Make it easier to get a place that gets you. Visit apartments.com, the place to find a place.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think honestly, like generational, like guys, like the guys that are like my age or older than me, they seem to be either very traditional and like not that there's anything wrong with that, but women who are like more independent and they don't need a guy to like take care of them, like that breaks that traditional sort of way that relationships are done or were done. And so I feel like I tend, that's one of the reasons why I tend to like guys who are younger, because there's like an equal amount of respect. Like guys respect me for like my career and everything that I've built and everything. Whereas guys who are my age or in my sort of generation or even a little older than me, they don't respect me for everything that I've built and, you know, the career and all the success that I've gotten from all my hard work. And the younger guys, they do. They respect that. They aren't intimidated by it. I think the guys that are my age, they don't like that because they want to be more in control of things. And, you know, I'm just not down for that. Like, I want someone who is either my equal and we respect each other equally, or, you know, I don't mind being like a little bit more of like the breadwinner. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. And I wouldn't hold that over somebody's head if they were younger than me.
Yeah, I'm the same. I wouldn't mind being the breadwinner. I feel like that in my last relationship, once I became the breadwinner, that was like a real moment where jealousy and stuff like that happened instead of being like proud of your partner and lifting you up, which I feel like is super important. Like if I'm with somebody, I want them to be happy for my success and things like that. So I feel like a lot of people can understand what you're saying.
Yeah, no, completely. I think you definitely need to find a partner that is going to lift you up. Like what is the point of being in a relationship if you're not there like supporting each other?
Right. And you're not in competition with the person that is supposed to be your partner and the love of your life and everything. It should never be about that. It should be about support, you know, love, lifting each other up, all those good things.
Yeah.
Whenever you moved in together, what was the first like, oh gosh, this is real life now moment?
So yeah, it was crazy. So he really, I think, wanted to kind of impress me, and I was all down for it. He decided to make me like a dinner, which actually they didn't have on the show. You guys didn't get to see it, but it was hilarious because his ability to cook, even though he put so much effort into it and I so appreciated it, it was like so basic that I was like, oh my God, like this is what he thinks is like gourmet cooking. And I was like, I normally would never cook something like that. It was good. It was like steak and these like very greasy, cheesy, salty potatoes. Like give me a heart attack tomorrow kind of a meal. But
Yeah.
I appreciated it. It was very sweet. It was very nice and I loved it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you said that you needed reassurance from him at a key moment. What exactly were you needing and when did he understand that?
Yeah. So obviously, like the minute we found out each other's age, I was like, okay, this is going to be a lot because, you know, just take away that huge age gap, like being the older woman with the younger guy, like that already is a stigma that, you know, the world is not really 100% behind yet. So like we already had that going on. And then you add the 27-year difference and there's another layer of that. And he was totally seemingly fine, which I now question because I'm like, how can you just not even care at all about the 27-year age difference? Like, you've got to have a little bit of like, you know, something in your brain being like, how is this going to work? But he seemed to be completely fine. And I was the one who was like, this is going to be, you know, I was being realistic about it, I thought. So I needed him to give me the reassurance since he didn't seem to need it. And it just, you know, throughout the show or whatever, like he was very much that like solid foundation for me. And then the minute we got finished with filming, that completely fell apart.
Do you think a lot of that was because of the cameras?
Yes, I do. I think looking back at it, you know, I really believed him. I thought, you know, here's this like very sweet, kind, in some ways kind of dorky guy. And I was like, he's not going to hurt me. He's not like, I didn't think he was like suave enough to really like, you know, pull something as fast as like, you know, I'm just doing this for fame or whatever. He seemed really authentic. But looking back at it, you know, it just doesn't add up to me.
Yeah.
And so I've tried to like reconcile it with him as to like why things changed the minute we stopped filming. And he really has no explanation. So it's a mystery to me. I don't get it.
I want to get back into that in a second, but I do want to know, as a mom of 3, what was going through your mind introducing John into that world?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean, I was like, how is this all going to fit together? But, I know my kids, and we have always been like a super strong team and very supportive of one another. So I knew that they would support me in the end if I was like, this is going to be my guy and he's good to me and he's going to be good to you guys too. And let's forget about the age. Let's just focus on the goodness of this relationship and how much we support each other and care about each other and all that good stuff.
How were you, since, some of your kids were close in age to him, how were you like planning to even start that conversation about his age?
So, I mean, they met him when we were on the show. And so, they're not blind, or clueless. Like, they knew that he was really young. And I think, they didn't think he was as young as he was. They thought he might be like 35 or something. But yeah, I mean, as far as my perspective, I was like, I don't know. It was a weird thing to try and figure out, how is this all going to work? But he was like, yeah, like, I'm not going to, if we did get married, like, I wouldn't try and be their dad. I would just try and be like, their friend. And I don't know. It was just like, it was a lot. I was like, oh my God, how's this going to work?
Yeah, I understand. You had mentioned that your youngest struggled a little bit about it. How did that affect you emotionally?
Yeah. So after we started, after everything came out, meaning the show, after the show was out, that was when my youngest son realized how young John was. Yeah. And his friends gave him a lot of shit for it. I don't know exactly what was said, but I can only imagine they were probably like making hot mom comments or something. And my kids are very protective of me, and especially my youngest. So I feel like he was really like wanting to protect me and didn't like how his friends were talking.
Yeah. No, I can only imagine how they were acting. I'm sure they were doing the Stacey's mom has got like all of that time, because you are very gorgeous and you definitely don't look your age either. Aww, so I'm sure if people saw you guys together without knowing your age, they wouldn't think there was that much of an age gap. But it was a TV show where you're saying the ages, how far apart. And how old is your youngest?
23.
He's still at that age where his friends are poking at him and everything. So I can understand that. Okay, so you commit in the finale, but things don't work out. We kind of mentioned this before, but I really want to get into it now. What changed once the camera stopped rolling? I know you said you think a lot was for the camera. So what like actually felt like a change to you once they stopped rolling?
So yeah, right after that we finished filming, on the way back to Miami, John actually stopped in Chicago and we went to like a Cubs game, and we were still kind of like in that, bubble for the most part. And so everything was great. And then when he went back to Miami, that was when things just started to really kind of pull apart. There was very bad communication. He says in the reunion and, had told me he does not like to text. Phone calls were very far and few between. I don't think we FaceTimed, even though we said we were going to. I don't think we did it once.
Oh, I can't stand it.
And so it was like, we went from this total immersed, intertwined relationship to completely the opposite. And it was a struggle. I was like, I wanted to know that he had been my rock, and then all of a sudden that rock is totally gone. So it's like, how do I balance this? And I was okay with like, just having a couple conversations like throughout the week and then texting throughout the day or whatever, but it wasn't even like that. And there were so many times where, it was like, oh, what are you doing tonight? And then, there would be a huge long couple hours, 3-hour long silence. And it was like a Friday night. And I'm like, oh, he's in Miami, like whatever. Yeah. So it just became a problem that we weren't communicating. And then when I did bring it up to him, he would get very like defensive. So it was like, well, that's hard. It's hard to work through these insecurities and these when you have somebody who is just not able to communicate with you.
Oh, I understand that completely. I cannot stand if I'm trying to date a new person or if they're like all into me and they're not like I feel like you should be checking in throughout the day. You should like make an effort if you actually want to be with that person.
Completely.
Like, I don't like that at all. Like, if I write you a message, like, I'm not saying somebody has to write me back immediately, but if you guys weren't even talking after you all were living together and doing all this stuff, that's wild. And that shows a lot of that person's intentions, I think.
Oh, completely. And so that was when it started to dawn on me, like, well, maybe this was just for show. And it was about 3 weeks after we finished filming that I was told by another cast member. And of course, this is like through the grapevine, of course. So I didn't fully take it in, but supposedly the younger guys had said, and maybe this was done before they met us and things had changed. And I'm willing to accept that. But they said, oh yeah, we're just going to try and find an older woman to be with so that we can stay to the end of the show.
Yeah.
So I learned that.
You learned that after. So do you feel like after all this was said and done that the age gap was a little bit more than you thought it would be, like emotionally and in the relationship than, what it turned out to be? Does that make sense? Do you think the age gap? Okay.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I think that, like a huge age gap, like what happened with John and I think that's a really hard thing to overcome. I don't think it's impossible to do, but it's a very small amount of people that are of that age that have the maturity level and the life experiences, and the emotional maturity to be able to be in a relationship with someone who's lived, 27 years longer than them and had all these other life experiences. It's not impossible, but it's very hard to find.
Right. And the whole communication part, like that is such a big deal. And I don't see how anyone can have a relationship if somebody isn't putting in that kind of effort.
Yeah.
Like, the age gap or not, like if you're not even putting in the effort for that, then it's not going to work.
No, completely. Yeah. I mean, that goes across the board with all relationships. I think, with John, I think he came off as being a very mature guy on the show, which, did him well because obviously I read into that and I was like, okay, this guy actually has the right words to say and can show up for me and be a support and all of those things. But, that was just on the show. Like you're in a very contained environment. You're in this bubble situation. And so when reality hits, not to use the name,
I love it.
Reality actually hits, then, that's when you figure out whether or not like you've got what it takes to stand the test of time.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of why I made this show called When Reality Hits, because we do reality TV, but then reality actually hits you. And there's so many ways you could go with it. So that's a perfect example, honestly.
Lately, I've been more intentional about what I wear day to day, leaning into pieces that feel effortless, comfortable, and still put together. It just makes getting dressed simpler. Quince has been my go-to. The fabrics feel elevated, the fits are flattering, and everything just works without overthinking it. Quince makes it easy to refresh your everyday this spring with pieces that feel as good as they look. They use premium materials like 100% European linen, organic cotton, and ultra soft denim. Their lightweight linen pants, dresses, and tops start at $30 and are effortless, breathable, and easy to wear on repeat. Everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They work directly with ethical factories and cut out the middleman, so you're paying for the quality and craftsmanship, not brand markup. I have been shopping with Quince for a while and they just have such great quality, so much great stuff you can find. The clothes are great. They have, stuff for the house. They have stuff for the kitchen. They have luggage. They have anything you could think of. Quince denim has been a standout for me. It has the structured, supportive feel, but it's really soft and comfortable. And when I saw the price, I genuinely had to double check. Refresh your everyday with luxury you'll actually see. Head to quince.com/realityhits for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/realityhits for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/realityhits. Check them out, guys. When Reality Hits is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states.
That period where you guys didn't talk and things were pretty hostile, how did you get through all of that?
I mean, honestly, like I'd reached out to him several times just to like talk about things, smooth things over, not to get back together, but just to get on the same page, because I'm like, we went through this experience together. I don't know whether this show is going to be a hit or not, but regardless, like we had this crazy experience together. We should be at least friends. And he would not even talk to me for 3 months or something. And it wasn't until the holidays that he finally responded. And then we started little by little, like, you know, talking more and more. And then, of course, when the show came out, you know, he wanted to be right by my side throughout the whole press and walk down the street together so people would see us and that whole thing. And I just kind of played along with it because I was like, whatever, like I wanted to be in a good place with him. But then now, once the reunion aired and, you know, fans then divided us and I was the villain and he became the victim, you know, that was when he unfollowed me and ghosted me. And so I haven't talked to him for a month.
Oh my goodness. Why do you think that he became the victim and you became the villain? Like, why do you think that even happened?
You know, I'm a strong woman and I wanted to find out what happened with the breakup. And so when we were at the reunion, you know, and I told them ahead of time, we were getting along great. Like we were hanging out, we were laughing, we were making TikToks together. Everything was great. And then we filmed the reunion and I was like, I'm going to ask you these questions. So he knew and he shut down and he couldn't even speak at one point. Like there was a 60-second time period where he was like stuttering and totally silent, couldn't answer the questions. And I felt bad for him. And so, you know, I tried to come to his rescue in some ways, but it just, the way it was edited and the way it came across, I think, to viewers was, you know, I was really, you know, pounding him and trying to get answers. And he was feeling, what do people say? You know, that he was feeling intimidated or feeling scared or sad or something like that. And I'm like, that is actually totally the opposite. I think he just froze and didn't know how to react and actually answer the questions.
Yeah. And I mean, you had been trying to communicate with him for a while. So, you know, it seems like he was the one kind of playing a role to me.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was funny because after the reunion, he was like really nervous about how he was going to come off. And we had a conversation where I was like crying and I was like, you know, I really did have feelings for you. And I just wanted to know why you completely ghosted me and why you basically just dropped me for nothing. And didn't try to work through it. And, you know, so we left the reunion friends, talked for about 3 days after that. And then as soon as the reunion aired, it was like, Theresa's cut off.
Wow. So. Well, do you think that after the reunion, like, and after actually the whole show, are you walking away feeling empowered or do you have regrets from the show? How are you feeling after it's all been said and done?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel very empowered. You know, I'm proud of who I showed up as, and I know that I was a very honest person, and I showed up like wanting a relationship, was fully in it. I think that I've gone through enough like therapy and relationships and learned enough about myself and what I want in a relationship to see it before it really explodes in my face. So I know that like I know exactly what I want, and I can smell, and see the red flags and all of that stuff. So I want, I really want to use my experience and help other women and, tell my stories and all of those things. And so, yeah, I do feel empowered. I've been given this opportunity to, do something in the future, maybe, to help women in relationships and things.
I love that. What surprised you the most about how people reacted to your relationship?
Oh gosh, I'm really surprised with how much support that the, fans and even like people in my community, even like my mom. I think my mom was like, she didn't care how old he was. She thought he was super cute and she didn't get to meet him. But, I told her about him like right when I got back home and I showed her pictures and everything. And yeah, I was really just very, very happy to see how much support my community and just the fans really gave to our relationship and how many people really wanted us to be together. It just goes to show you like how our world is evolving and becoming more accepting of, all types of relationships, which I think is so important.
I think it's important too. That was literally my next question. Do you think society is finally shifting when it comes to women dating younger men?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I think, there was a New York Times article that came out a few weeks ago saying how, this is becoming a thing now and how younger women or younger men actually want to date older women. And so I think it's becoming more accepted and more celebrated.
Maybe I need to get me a youngin'. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm just gonna.
Why not? I mean, listen, it's all about compatibility.
Exactly. You had one that you said worked out for years. That was great. And then one that was fun and then obviously fizzled out and didn't last. But hey, who knows what'll actually stick and work out. What's one boundary?
Exactly.
What's one boundary that you'll never ignore again when it comes to dating?
I mean, obviously you learn something from every single relationship. And so, because this was my last relationship, I think I have to make sure that when my communication, I don't want somebody to gaslight me and tell me like, oh, you want to communicate too much. If there's somebody out there that will match that. And I don't think I'm asking too much in terms of, back and forth communication. And so you just have to find the right vibe. And I'm not going to make myself small for anybody or, I'll compromise, but I also want to make sure my needs are being met.
I love that. I love that. Okay. We'll see if the computer will allow us, if our connection will allow us, but we're going to do a quick rapid fire before I let you go. Okay.
Okay. Love it.
All right. Here we go. What is one red flag that you ignored that you shouldn't have?
People not texting me back.
Right. I hate that. Okay. Better kissers, younger or older men?
Oh, younger for sure.
Oh, for sure. We got a for sure on that one. Okay. One thing younger men do better in relationships.
They have they're just more fun. There's more energy. So you can go do more fun things. They just, like better music. And I don't know. It's just, it's more fun.
Okay. What's one thing that they do worse?
Ooh, what do they do worse? I mean, I guess they just don't get some things. They don't understand like generational certain things, but nothing like that would kill a relationship. Just, oh, you don't know that song or like, oh yeah, when I was little, I did this and they can't relate. So
yeah. Okay. I get that. If John texted you, I miss you tonight, what would happen?
I would bend over laughing and I would probably reply and I would be like, is this a joke? And you're insane.
What's more intimidating, dating on TV or dating in real life?
Oh gosh, dating in real life for sure. I mean, I feel like at least I knew that these guys on the show had background checks and were vetted for the most part, and they were showing up as who they were, at least on paper. Dating in real life, like I feel like you could be with a murderer and you wouldn't even know it until it was too late.
Oh Lord. Yeah, you're right though. That's so right. Okay. Would you ever go on another dating show?
Yes, I would absolutely go on another dating show.
Ooh, fun. Okay. Your current dating status in one word.
Single.
Single. All right. We got to find us some men. All right. Would you date a 27-year-old again? Yes or no?
No.
No? Okay. Pushing the boundaries a little bit too there. Okay. If you could be on any reality TV show, what would it be?
Oof. It's a tie. I mean, I would do Golden Bachelorette.
Oh, yeah. That would be good.
And then the other one would be Traitors.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I love that. And then who is your favorite reality TV star of all time? If you had to pick one person on reality TV.
I mean, Sierra Miller.
Yeah.
Right now. Sierra Miller.
Yeah. Right
on
now.
Summer House. I'm obsessed. Yeah.
Yeah. She's doing big things.
She's always been like, I've always thought she was super authentic. She's obviously gorgeous inside and out.
Yeah.
So I think she has a lot of the characteristics that I think are very aspirational. And she's a beautiful Black woman. And so I think she should be lifted up, and I'm so glad that she's gotten these opportunities that have come out of, a really shitty situation.
Yes, I agree.
But, I think you and I both have had, our share of stuff. And so I think that, hopefully good things come out of the negative for everyone.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Theresa, thank you so much for being on When Reality Hits. Will you tell everybody where they can find you, your social medias, or anything else that you'd like them to know so they can check you out?
So I am on both TikTok and Instagram as myself, just Theresa DeMaria. And I'm a stylist. So if anybody needs any styling or direction in that world, give me a DM.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of When Reality Hits. We will see you next week. Love y'all. Finding the one can feel impossible. And in today's world, it's even harder. False profiles, inaccurate pictures, ghosting on dates. Is this sounding familiar? But if you're ready to make your move to a new place, it doesn't have to feel like dating. All it takes is a simple search on apartments.com to find your perfect match. Whether you're looking for a 3-bedroom condo downtown, a 2-bedroom duplex in a quiet neighborhood, a cozy studio in a walkable city, or even a single-family home in a cul-de-sac, you can find the place that checks all the right boxes. So whichever stage of life you're in, settle down in your perfect home by using apartments.com. No more swiping or awkward first dates. Make it easier to get a place that gets you. Visit apartments.com, the place to find a place.
At first, I didn't think it was real. I woke up to this blinding light, and I was transported to another place. Pluto TV. Then I heard a voice.
Come with me if you want to live.
There were thousands of movies and shows, and they were all free.
The truth is ours.
It's just so beautiful.
On Pluto TV, free streaming of Terminator 2, Fringe, Arrow, The 100, and The X-Files may cause excitement, loss of sleep, and sudden belief in extraterrestrials. No credit cards or alien encounters necessary. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.